But without further ado,
we got a special guest.
Welcome back, Tommy. We had a great weekend.
Yeah, we did.
Definitely, Tommy's a cool ass guy, man. Awesome person. We went outside a little bit.
Okay.
People's like, oh, that's Tommy Sotomayor. I'm like, damn, this nigga famous. Really famous. Went to a Sky Lounge, pretty dope. Saw him spit some game, do his thing, and then club after.
How'd you get started, Tommy? How'd you get this thing going? Obviously, you built up like a fucking whole empire in broadcasting. You did it independently for a while when you needed an infrastructure to do it before the social media, and then you're also doing it in social media age. You've been able to do it in both ends. So I guess if you could take us through like how you started.
Well, when I first started, I didn't even know it was a thing because it wasn't a thing. All I knew is I had a message I wanted to get out, and I knew that nobody talks about men and what men go through. And the only time I saw it, like it was in a public thing, it was always done like at a barbershop, though, like amongst the uncles and the family. You could talk about what men go through, but it's this weird thing that it had to be pushed underground. So I said I wanted to bring it above ground, but I knew I couldn't do it at a traditional radio. They wouldn't have it. So
what year was this roughly?
2008.
Wow. Okay.
And then in 2009, I went to this thing called Blog Talk Radio, and it still exists, and it allows you to take phone calls and stuff like that.
Yeah, we know all too well.
Yeah. So I did that, and it got really big. But then the girl I was dating who used to handle the stuff that I would do, like she really believed in the stuff that I was doing. She was like, she started recording me in the little studio I had, but she would record me and then put it on YouTube. And a video I did, the first video that ever went viral was a video called "The Type of Black Woman Everybody Hates."
Oh my God!
And they put it on World Star Hip Hop, and it blew up. And the next day, I knew I just had a whole bunch of emails, and I didn't know where they were coming from. And that was before I even knew what going viral was, because I had went viral before, but I had to go to the clinic and get a shot. So
what? I get it.
I'm old. Let them flow. So what happened was she just kept putting things on there, and it just kept going viral. It got to a point where it wasn't a video I put up that wouldn't get 1 million views. Wow. Every video I put up got 1 million
on
views.
YouTube.
Yep, everyone. Like it was like clockwork.
It wasn't easy to get 1 million views like that back then.
Right. And I would get mad if I had a video and it got like less than 1 million. I was like, oh, they must.
So you were hitting 1 million. This is what year now? This is 2008. Still 2009.
No, not 8. At that point, it was like by the time it got that big, it was in 2011.
Yeah.
So 2011 was when it like hit its peak, and then everybody knew who I was. It was weird. Like I didn't know it was a thing until when I went outside, everybody knew who I was, and there was people in my family that was calling me. Well, before you didn't want to let everybody know you was related to me. Now you want everybody to know you related to me, and so it became a thing. But with that, I didn't know money was in it until I got this check. And I think at one point I was making around $85,000 to $90,000 a month.
Wow. Wait.
Yes.
What were you doing job-wise before?
Oh, before I had retired because you ever heard of a thing called Headhunter or Career Builder?
Yeah.
Me and my friends developed it. See, a lot of people don't know this.
What? That's you?
Yeah. We did Headhunter. They bought it from us at Career Builder, and we got rich. So I had money to fuck around.
Nigga, you got money.
Yeah. He mentioned it a very long time ago when I asked him how he got started.
Job Indeed, Career Builder.
Yes, all that shit came from us.
Yeah.
Wow. I remember one of the first people to build it.
I remember that you did tech, and
yes.
I didn't know specifically that. I remember you told me that you guys had created some software that was very popular, and y'all sold it off.
Yep.
And okay, so real quick, because a lot of people don't know that about you, because you haven't talked about it openly. So you were in tech. You and your buddy started this company up, which basically, what is it, like a parent program that hosts all these different websites that allow people to find employees?
When I got out of college, we ended up going to work for this company called CDI, which was a subsidiary of IBM.
Yeah.
Well, what happened was IBM had to. We didn't know it at the time, but it was a big thing for these people need talent, and it's a headache for these managers to be looking for resumes.
Yeah.
So recruitment was a thing. Well, knowing that we came from that side, we saw needs that hadn't been developed yet. Like, well, we have all these resumes, we need to keep them somewhere. So my friends and I developed a software that would keep the resumes. And so whenever people would ask for a certain thing, we could search the resume on the in-house, and then it would pull it up.
Yeah.
Well, it became a big thing because people were like, that's pretty damn awesome. You could just go to one place and get resumes. Yeah. So instead of just doing it for IBM, we said, well, what if we did it for everybody?
Everybody. Yeah.
And that's how it was developed. And then a bigger company was like, because, you know, it still was hard for some niggas doing this. Mm-hmm. So a bigger company was like, we want to buy it. And we didn't really know. So what they did was they hired us over at Career Builder, and then they hired us with stock options. So now we go from having this to now we're working there with these stock options, and then that blew up. So
y'all had equity in it too.
Yes. So that's why y'all never seen me in the video where it looked like I was broke. The first videos y'all seen me do back in 2000-something, I literally had a studio.
Yeah.
I remember watching your videos. I don't know what time frame this was, but you were at a big-ass house by a pool. Was that in Atlanta?
I think probably at that point I had moved over to the West Coast.
That house was huge, bro. I was like, I'm making money.
That's why everybody wanted to get into it. At first it was this nigga ain't shit, and then they thought, oh, he got rich off that. But I already had the money.
Yes. And you were able to invest and get into it properly. Mm-hmm. You bought the proper cameras, you had a good microphone offer, etc. Because you had already did you sell out your position and just like get into this full time pretty much?
Yes.
So you sold your position, got out of it.
Like this was just something that I wanted to do. I was just fucking about.
Gotcha.
I had no idea that there was money in it.
Real quick, wow. What did you buy when you got your first big check? Was it like you bought like a car?
I had already bought shit, so I just put it in the bank. I already had shit.
You know,
like funny? I never.
You mean his first big check from
when I was getting money? You never saw my life went up.
Yeah,
my car was different. I already had the shit. Like ever not. From the time you saw me, I did not like. Oh, you could tell he not getting money because his clothes changed, because his house changed, because it was the same shit.
Because you've been the same, I would say, lifestyle wise, from what I saw on camera at least, from back then. But I have a theory that, like, for example, people that have money from the very beginning, or at least from a certain point, younger age, they bought everything that they wanted beforehand. So when you see him older, it's like, okay, he has old money and he's not spending it, but it's because he already did all the fun stuff when he's younger. Yeah. So he don't need that stuff anymore.
Like, all I did was kept investing in my kid. Like, my kid was everything. So one of the things that really bother me is that black folks look at this as a hustle. Okay. And that's not a real business model. Let me explain.
100%. Okay.
They'll walk into it in the first video, it'd be two motherfuckers in their comment section. And won't now none of them be their relative because they know they're stupid. When you can't even get a relative to come watch your shit, you ain't shit. Like nobody in your family will watch you, nigga. Your first people watching you should be the bitch you fucking, the niggas you hang with. It should be a crowd at least, so that lets you know something. But you sit there and the first thing you do is hit my Cash App. Nigga, we don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Create an audience, and that's the biggest thing. And not only create an audience, but an audience that's loyal to you. Yeah. Right now, you see people like J-Lo finding that out. She had to cancel her tour because the difference between J-Lo and the Rolling Stones, and J-Lo's put out music before the later than the Rolling Stones have, but the Rolling Stones have no problem with selling out. Why? Because of quality and quantity.
Yeah.
They have a lot of hits. You guys, y'all have done so much good shit that y'all can now take it on the road.
Yeah.
Y'all can go to a city and be like, hey, we're here, show up, come see a nigga. Like, people looked at me and they didn't understand how I was able to do shows around the country twice, did 2 tours, sold them out. Mm-hmm. Well, how I do that on my own? Had a name. You got a big enough name, you can go somewhere, motherfuckers will go and they'll pay. But it's the same way Facebook was started. Facebook had no ads. It was free. They weren't trying to get you out of shit. What did they do? They waited till you used it so much that now I can start charging. Now I can start saying, and that's a proper business model. Even the crack guy will give you a hit for free, won't he?
Yeah. There's a book by Gary Vaynerchuk called Jab, 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 Hook. So you give, and then you take.
Yeah, like it's
a law.